the Mayan calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mayan calendar ended in 2012. Well, I guess there's now an argument.
Yeah.
Some scholars say that it ended in 2012. Some people are saying that it ended in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone agrees that the Mayans never prophesized the end of the world.
Right. Right. Yeah.
They just had a calendar which just ended at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, if you build a society and you create a calendar system and it goes on for thousands of years, wouldn't you just be like,
Yeah, right.
that's good enough for right now,
exactly.
you know? We just need a way to keep track of the days.
Right. Right.
What's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you would want your society to go on for all those years, you know, so you can just be like, maybe 3 years before the end of your calendar, you're like, that's when I'll extend it, or somebody, maybe I won't be here, but somebody will extend it then.
Right.
You know.
Or maybe you come up with a better way of keeping track of time.
Right. Right.
But then, what would we call it? Pop culture, our, I want to say our society, but it was kind of like at least a decent chunk of the world. Although I think it's mainly fixated in Western civilization,
Right.
where we started extrapolating that the end of the calendar meant the end of the world.
Correct.
Even though that's not what the creators of the calendar said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe they did say it, but they didn't write it down for us to find that.
Yeah, and and I didn't research that very much to see if there was maybe some speculation out there, like people who saying, hold on, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the end of the world. Like, how do we know that, maybe they just didn't foresee the calendar, or, just something rational, like, they just didn't go beyond that point. So I don't know if there was some talk about people then, like trying to bring people down, like, hey, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. That's just as far as their calendar went to for whatever reason. That doesn't mean it's the end.
Right. But then and I have a little bit of a problem when popular media plays into this. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I watch tons of things that are fiction.
Yeah, right.
But I'm worried when it's something that people believe in, and then, like mainstream media is like, oh, hey, let's make some money off of this. And I think, let's not feed into this. But like, just thinking of like some of the ways that it bled over into like films and things like that.
Yeah.
There was the movie 2012.
Right. Yeah. Which was all about that because, so I don't know the entire 2012 prophecy, but in that movie, there was, oh man, I can't remember. It was just a bunch of natural disasters.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was basically like Armageddon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Armageddon, as far as like the Bible tells it, like everything just basically comes apart.
Right. Okay, so hold on. So I want to backtrack just for a second.
Okay.
Just to get some more context. So, okay, so if the news media plays a part in some of this, so what is their benefit to creating hysteria? Would it just be money, or
Well,
like because how
I
would
think
that,
once people get scared, they keep watching,
yeah.
and so it's ratings.
Okay, so then
And so yeah, it's money.
So how does that translate to money then? Because what is that? Is that ad revenue? Is that okay? So in just their system of tracking, like how many viewers?
Yeah, it's basically like if you have one television show that has like, let's say, 1 million people watch it, just for argument's sake, and then you've got another television show where 2 million people watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know how ads work in Hollywood, but Hollywood is the generic term for mainstream media.
Yeah.
But I would guess that the one that gets double the amount gets a lot more money than the other one because you're reaching more people.
Right. Right. Okay. And I'm only was asking that to clarify because a lot of times, like we'll say mainstream media as kind of like as not as a boogeyman, but like I don't know, just as the entity that's kind of like pushing the hysteria type of thing.
Right.
Okay. So with all that out of the way, if mainstream media is kind of pushing the, end of the world narrative,
Right.
and people are watching, I'm sure that there has to be someone on the side that's like, yeah, even though we're getting all this money in these ratings or we're getting all this viewership.
Are you talking about the guy with the conscience?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got to be like, hey, listen, this is just a little bit too much hysteria. Like, we don't need all this. Because it could be something on the back end. Like,
I mean, that might be the case, but the other thing is we're not talking about a little bit of money. We're talking about a lot of money. Well, what about the movie 2012 or The Prophecy? Do you believe in any of that?
no,
I mean, we're obviously way past 2012.
Yeah, right.
But when you hear things like that, do you think to yourself, uh-oh?
No. I think because, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe because there's so much hysteria. And then when you actually find out, like, it's, when someone says like, oh, the Mayan calendar predicted, well, then that's kind of like, I don't know. It just doesn't stick with me very well that, this calendar predicted, how many years ago did they predict that
Thousands.
this day would be the end of the world? It's like,
So that's not something that you believe in or can get behind?
yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
Like,
I know what you're trying to do.
Like vampires?
I know what you're trying to do here. Listen,
Okay. We're not going to go down that route.